So the 2025 season hasn't already started yet, but there are a lot of rumours going around about the future of the Formula 1 grid, and I've got one today concerning a certain Mr. Bearman. Of course, Ollie Bearman is making his proper debut in Formula 1. I know he had cameo appearances for Ferrari and Haas last season, but this is his first full season as a Formula 1 driver coming up. He's very exciting, he's very young, he's already proven that he can score points not only in a top tier car like the Ferrari, but also in a midfield car like the Haas. I'm really excited to see what he can do, and I think if there's going to be any of the rookies that managed to beat their teammates in 2025, it's probably going to be Bearman, partly because I don't really rate Ocon that highly, but that's a separate conversation for another day. Now, when it comes to the long-term future of Bearman, he is not really a Haas driver out and out. He is a Ferrari driver who is on loan at Haas. That's effectively what the relationship is there. And Haas are now openly admitting that he could go to Ferrari in 2027, presumably to potentially replace a certain Mr. Hamilton. But let's have a look here, because that's a long way away. A lot can happen. Hamilton's only driven the car once, and maybe they're meaning something else. But all the details are in this F1Chronicle.com article here, guys, as always. So let's have a look. It's possible Ferrari will pull Ollie Bearman back to Maranello for 2027, Haas boss Ayao Komatsu has admitted. The 19-year-old British rookie's first full season for Haas this year is most definitely linked with the team's technical relationship with Ferrari. Komatsu freely admits that Bearman is a Ferrari driver. Well, he is. I mean, he's contracted to them. He's on loan, effectively. We have him on loan for at least 2 years, Haas's Japanese team principal confirmed. 2+1, he added, explaining the format of the contract. So basically that means that it's definitely 2 years, so they will have him in 25 and 26, and potentially 27 as well, but I imagine that is at the discretion of Ferrari. But let's have a little read here. If we do a good job, and Ollie does a good job, Ferrari will not be able to ignore him. But the fact that we have 2 years secured with him, provided nothing happens with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, is great. If we make improvements together so that at the end of the 2026 Ferrari insist on having Ollie in the car, that has to be a compliment to us, says Komatsu, and a compliment to Bearman as well, being able to be in Formula 1 for 3 seasons. It's not the easiest thing. Bearman has contested 3 one-off Grand Prix so far as a substitute driver. He scored points on debut in a Ferrari at Jeddah last year and followed it with another points finish for Haas in Baku. The less said about Brazil, the better, but it was a very difficult weekend in fairness. But Komatsu is very highly impressed. With Ollie, it's not just about his speed, it's about everything. I almost couldn't believe that this guy was only 18. I think the 3rd youngest Formula 1 driver of all time as well when he made his debut. Literally pretty much a child. Incredible stuff that he's managed to do that. In fact, we don't treat him like a rookie in the sense that we pay very close attention to what he has to say, and every time he gets in the car, his feedback is excellent, his approach is outstanding, his speed is great. The Haas boss also revealed that the American team will work closely together with Ferrari on Bearman's progress in 2025. I am sure Ferrari will want feedback on a regular basis, said Komatsu. There will be a meeting in the first week of February so that we can understand exactly what kind of feedback Ferrari want from us. He also insisted that despite Haas's new engineering relationship with Toyota, the Haas-Ferrari collaboration is still at full steam. We have no plans to stop working in the wind tunnel at Maranello in the foreseeable future, said Komatsu. It's a win-win situation because if any difficulties arise, we can use Ferrari's solution and don't have to do that research ourselves. That is a controversial issue in itself in Formula 1, but we'll talk about that another time. So I don't see any point in stopping us using this modern wind tunnel and switching to working with Toyota. At the moment, none of the teams are using the tunnel in Cologne, only Andretti, but they're not even in the championship, of course. McLaren were using that, of course, but now they're using their own one, which is part of the reason I think why they've been so good, especially when it comes to upgrades on the car. I mean that's all fair enough, you know. He has a defined contract for 2 seasons, so 25, 26 he's going to be at Haas, and after that you have to assess the situation at Ferrari. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I said Hamilton leaving Ferrari. It's all down to him, though, at the end of the day, because for me, I think that if Hamilton reaches a point where he knows that he's no longer fast enough to drive the Ferrari and be competitive, he'll leave. He's pretty much openly said that. And of course, Hamilton has had a lot of self-doubt in 2024 when it comes to his own speed. I feel like it wasn't totally warranted. I mean, you are your worst self-critic at the end. You know, the self-critic is the worst critic at the end of the day. I think we can all relate to that. So for me, it depends on how Hamilton is. If after 2026 he is, you know, a bit of a Perez compared to Verstappen in terms of differences between teammates, if he's a long way behind Charles Leclerc or a good way behind, or if he's just tired, or, you know, the pressure on his back or anything like that, I could see him leaving Ferrari after those 2 years. He's of course contracted for 2025 and 2026 as well. So I think it's entirely possible Hamilton would leave potentially. I don't want to see it. If I had to bet, I would say no. I don't think that would happen, but we don't know. We don't know. I mean, Ferrari could go into the 2026 regulations with a terrible car. Who knows? It could happen. They've done it before. 2014 was a terrible car. 2009 was a terrible car as well. So they've not got an amazing track record of adapting to regulations well. Although 2022, not bad. Not bad. Especially at the start. They won a few races, didn't they? So, you know, we'll have to see what happens there. And obviously, if either, for whatever reason, if Charles Leclerc or Lewis Hamilton leaves Ferrari, then Oliver Bearman is the natural successor to them. He would be experienced by a couple seasons in Formula 1 at that point. He'd be 21 years of age. He's still super young. Younger than Hamilton was when he made his debut. Hamilton was 22 when he made his debut, I think. So, yeah. So, for me, he is the next in line, obviously. He is the next boy wonder, you know, what Charles Leclerc was and still is to an extent as well at Ferrari these days. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think Haas will keep Bearman for 3 years? Or do you think that Bearman will potentially go to Ferrari in 2027? I'm not ruling it out, but I would say it's not particularly likely. I think that he'd probably stay there for a third season, and then maybe Hamilton will retire after that, because Hamilton in 2027 will be 42 years of age. He'd be the same age as Alonso is now. I think Alonso's 42. So it's entirely possible he could be on the decline by then. But it's also entirely possible he could be still top of his game. You know, these athletes these days are absolutely incredible in what they can achieve well into their 40s. Unbelievable stuff. But yeah, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more F1 news and opinion pieces just like this, keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com. Have a good one, guys. See you soon.